All right. Let's go. It's the EPT number 115 Korean finals. This is Solar, representing Kaiser Gaming in the bottom right. And he is one of the best Zerg vs Terran players in the world. Fantastic lurker player. His opponent in the top left, though, one of the very best Terrans and a guy who's finally won that elusive GSL championship in 2021. It's Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Cure. I think he made his first grand finals of a GSL in 2020 when he first ascended and stopped being the online god who'd win all the online cups and just kind of bomb out in the round of 16 in GSL. But he really started becoming an absolute monster and is one of the, I believe he's ranked 5th in the world on a Ligulac right now. Higher than like Rogue and a bunch of other incredible players. So Cure is definitely a force to be reckoned with, especially playing from the comfort of his own home. Now his opponent Solar has gone gas pool into a hatchery. What is it? Okay. All right, so I think, guys, what Solar's going to do here, there's a few options. One is just do a quick roach push, you know, the old Lambo 5 roach opening, though it's normally you go pool before gas. I think he's going to open up with a 4 or 6 Zergling pressure. It could be the Rogue build. Okay, so there's a Rogue build, which I'm pretty sure he used at Katowice on this exact map versus Bunny, if memory serves, that was the series. And he'd go 6 Zergling pressure, pin the Reaper at home defending the Zerglings, you know, make him pull it back for that, blah, blah, blah. And then he'd just follow up with a big old roach attack, like 6 or 7 roaches, I think it was, off 22 or 19. It was something super aggressive. So this is going to be 4 Zerglings for Solar. Doesn't look like he'll build the 6. So he's going to do 4 Zerglings, and he will go Ling Speed. Okay, so he might actually go for like either just macro behind it, but obviously Cure has to respect it, you know, the fact that it could be more than that. Or he could go for, you see that SCV threatening to go around and scout, so it does buy a bit of time for himself. Or he could even make a bunch of Zerglings, flood across when Ling Speed kicks in, and look to surround the Hellions and kill the SCVs on the low ground. Now, I don't think his gas is early enough, though, to finish before the Command Center. Command Center finishes in 35 seconds, Ling Speed finishes in 45 seconds, so that's not really an option in this scenario. I think you need to go super fast Ling Speed to do the Ling Flood, but hey, second Queen's on the way. And this is looking more and more like a macro transition, just with a really interesting opening. Such a fast Ling Speed, it technically doesn't serve a function, right? Like, what are you doing with it? Well, nothing, right? Nothing right now, anyway. But Cure doesn't know that. So if Cure had gone in the main, he would have seen the Ling Speed, would have seen the gas mining. Solar might have, if he sees the Reaper come in, put guys on gas to make it look like he's banking gas for something scary. So it's not a bad play at all. Now, these Zerglings, looks like 2 more Lings did come out with Ling Speed kicking in. So he wanted to do a little dive, but the Reaper finds 2 Lings right before Ling Speed kicks in. Very good pickoffs for Cure, who also sees the 3rd hatchery, and he's got a bunker with 2 Marines. Solar's build is going nowhere right now. Queen will deflect the Reaper for now, but I'm sure Cure is so happy. And he's played super safe. Notice he didn't build a 3rd command center. He went straight into 2nd gas, starport, and a tech lab on the factory. So he can either build a tank, a cyclone, or he can just swap that over to get Banshees out. And notice the Reaper dives as well, but he sees no one mining gas, and he says, oh, okay, you're just macroing. So I wouldn't be surprised if the factory swaps onto the barracks. Otherwise, he's just going to build reactors and tech labs with it. So that factory needs to lift off and be an add-on builder right now for Cure. But it seems like Banshee's the priority for him. He doesn't have any Hellions to pair with it, though, so... Alright, you got plenty of Marines, bro. Time to do something with that factory, mate. Cure, show me what you got, mate. Build a tech lab with the barracks, reactor with the factory. There we go. Okay. Got to make use of that, guys. If you're not going to use the factory to build Hellions, you just use it to build other add-ons to get them ready for your barracks, so that when your barracks do build, much quicker to get into the Marine production and the upgrades. So obviously Solar going pool first isn't that different to hatch first. I think it's only about half a drone or 1 drone different, but because he went gas and pool before hatchery, that is the real cost. See some questions there, you know, what's the difference? And then he built the 4 Zerglings, not just 2 Zerglings as well. Now, he then also built 2 more Zerglings, which got killed as well. So I feel like committing to the Ling Speed, mining the gas for it, building that super early extractor, all this, I would say, puts you about 3 or 4 drones behind from where you would be in those early stages. And obviously 3 or 4 drones at maybe the 2.5 minute mark does become many more drones by the 5 or 6 minute mark. So Often a Zerg player will be fully saturated on their third by about 4:30, 5 minutes at the absolute latest. We can see we're passing 5 minutes and he's just hitting 14 workers there. So not quite as juicy as you'd expect from a player of Solar's caliber. That being said, he's had to build spores. He's got a well-timed lair, double Evo coming down behind that. So we can't fault him too much as considering the openings, it's not too bad. And this has scared Cure off the super quick third command center. He's only now getting that floating down a little bit later than he would have if he went for that beloved quick 3cc that so many Terran players love to do. Banshee comes in and snipes another drone. Overlord there at the front does get sniped out. Overseer's on the way as well. Okay, drones will be going onto these gases. Banshee hanging out. Fourth base going down in the bottom side. Okay, so Solar's doubling down on this side of the map. Some players like to opt over here, but he's basically saying, I will just break these rocks, control this whole area. And as long as I control this area, you can't really push into my economy. But if I lose the fight over there, I lose the whole game. And guys, the drone count looks really good for him. I mean, he's been up about 14, 15 workers, but... Oh, I like that transfuse. That Banshee thought it was getting another worker kill. The transfuse on the drone does keep it alive. Banshee comes in, gets one drone, make it two. Oh, Spore Trick as well. Solar with lovely details. Double Drop's about to get in here. These rocks aren't down yet. And there's only 6 queens on this map as well. 6 queens is kind of light. Plenty of Zerglings though. I think 28 Zerglings, especially with the Bane's morphing, should be good. Bane speed is already almost done. This is an insanely quick Bane speed. And that really is Solar's specialty. Solar, for a long time, has been a fan of rushing Baneling speed in this matchup. Specifically because it allows you to get on top of moves like this very easily. Whereas slow Banelings, you can see how awkward they are. Cure with some nice stutter step. I think he lost 1 Marine there for like 10 Zerglings. Oh, we got the battle report up. I don't know why there's a Marine. What? This is so broken, guys. Yeah, let's never press that button again. I think that just shows me nothing, man. I'm like, why have they... Oh, like, it's not like either of them friendly fired units. Ooh, Banelings actually clear out 1 medevac worth of Marines. Oh, and they had to pause, so maybe a bit of a lag spike there for Solar. Not happy with that one. 5th hatchery going up on the left side. This Banshee is still alive. It's going to come in, but not quite. Yeah, up there, I think you're out of range of the Spore. So you see, that's a better way of doing it. Can't quite target the drones, but you can at least damage the extractor. Tank's still pumping out and going up to 8 barracks. Cure, but on 5th gas as well. Armory's about to kick in. So we should see 2-2 kick in straight away. Banshee goes back and starts damaging the 5th base. Clears some creep on the left. 2-2 does start up right now, both at the same time. Meanwhile, 2-2 starting up for the Zerg Solar. So very similarly timed upgrades. A lot of creep got picked off there, but quickly cleans up the Marines and will be able to replenish. This Banshee down the bottom is still just hanging in the dead space, not overcommitting. Now, if we see triple tech lab, it's sign of a longer play, but I think we're going to see just Marines producing out of those barracks. These Marines do pick up. And it's triple reactor, innovation style. Oh, right, Cure says, this is my ode to Big Daddy Innovation, one of the greatest Terran players of all time. A man who's currently in the military. Innovation used to love doing this. And I'm telling you guys, it is very, very committed to the mid game. Because yes, those 3 reactors give you a crazy amount of Marines. You know what Marines aren't good at fighting against, guys? Oh, I don't know. Lurkers, Ultralisks, any hive tech unit, essentially. Yeah. Because you're not getting Marauders, you're not getting Ghosts, you are so weak to the Lurker transition, and you're looking for the tempo and the momentum right here, right now. I want to see Cure get a move on and start pushing. Look at this, 15 Marines and 1 tank at a time, all on 1 factory, doesn't even have a second factory. This is essentially an all-in. Now, a lot of players like to push through the middle and try to get their tank sieged up here in the guts of the Zerg. Looks like he's going to push to the south side. Remember I said the Zerg's going to aim to control this area, Solar is, but if the Terran moves in, he gets 3rd and 4th base at the same time. It's a discount 2-for-1 deal if the Terran can move their way in there. Now, that's going to be an issue if he gets in there. But plenty of Banes, plenty of Zerglings and Hydras, 89 workers to 66 SCV. You know, I don't want to say it's an all-in, guys, because he does have a full 3-base economy, but I don't think he's going to be starting up 3-3. I still don't see a 4th command center. I don't see a second factory. There we go. 4th command center finally does go down. When Bane run by, evacuate, Cure. Evacuate. Evacuate, bro. But he's got plenty of Marines, not enough Banelings to continue on through. Banelings trading on those depots is usually not a bad trade for the Zerg player. Even though, you know, cost for cost, it's not perfectly efficient. For this matchup, in the context of Zerg versus Terran, it is actually totally fine, and that's why he's going to keep doing that. This is why some Terrans like to leave a tank here, because it makes it much more costly for the Zerg to do that. Oh, he's going to go for it! A big attack from Solar, but a lot of his units attack around a really awkward angle on the bottom. Banelings crash into the depots up there. He's going to pull back, and guys, that was not the right engage. He needed to have some units spread up here as well. A lot of his units attacked from here around this corner. You never want to attack around a corner. If those units were coming from here, out in the open spaces, it would have been better, but Solar takes a bit of a shitty fight, and guys, if he gets Lurkers out, he wins this game. I don't think he realized just how committed this push was. If he gets Lurkers, he can stall this out, but he's trying to defend with Hydraling Bane and just saying, oh no, I'll just fight it right now. Dude, if he gets even a few Lurkers, holds the position, he's got one Viper out, he can gather energy and abduct the tanks. There is no follow-up to this other than multi-drops once the Lurkers are out. You cannot push through it. This is actually such a committed push from Cure. Remember, he's still only on 5 gases, rallying mass Marines, one tank at a time. Lingbane goes forward, but those tanks, dude, those tanks are firing. 33 kills, 19 kills, and 20 kills. That there is Sergeant Chadhammer and his 2 bitches. That's him up front, Sergeant Chadhammer with the 33 kills. Dude, this is really painful for Solar, but it's way better for him to just pull the drones. Mine over here, still on 5 bases, you've got Lurkers. His Viper as well. Where is that Viper, guys? The Viper is up, but he's kind of forgotten about it for now. There's a lot of things going on. He does have it on Control Group 1, so we'll be bringing that one over. And where is the extra factories in the transition for Cure? He's playing this like Hero Marine was playing at Katowice. Cure is like, nah, hey, Hero Marine killed everybody with this. He killed Solar with it, for God's sakes. Hey, let's learn from the guy who took Solar out in the World Championship. The Marines coming on forwards. The Lingbane trying to crash in, but you can see that the Lurker count is really what's going to have to stabilize him. Solar's going to have to give up this base. He's got to stop attacking with Lingbane into tank lines. Now, the problem, guys, is you can go in with small fights like that against Widow Mines. You cannot do it against tank lines. Sergeant Chadhammer has 41 kills in the back there, but I think Solar's a little bit too slow to give up ground, and he keeps rallying Lingbane into the army. The way you fight against this is you Lingbane counter-attack as much as possible, cut off the reinforce, threaten the surround, and you use Lurker Viper with just a few Banelings in reserve. But you only want to use the Banelings if the Bio tries to stim on you, which, because it's pure Marine, it's not Marauder Ghost, you actually want to wait until they stim on top of you to do it. And the thing is, even if they do that, you probably don't need Banelings, because Marines are soft. They're soft as shit, mate. They're very, very vulnerable. But look, Liberator's coming in now. 3-3 upgrades are starting up. Solar, he needs to get more abducts out, man. He's going to go for the double Blinding Cloud. The Lurker's going to try and burrow on top, but the Liberators plus the scan, that is deadly. The Lurkers are just getting overwhelmed. And Solar here, it does get caught. Cure catching him with a timing attack just before the Lurkers were out. And I think Solar was like, oh shit, this is really bad. I got to fight like this. But realistically, look at the units lost tab, 2-1 almost. Those tanks got way too much value. We're going to do a really quick count on those siege tank kills. A lot of them died in that last push, but this one was 7 kills. This one was 35 kills. Let's go to before those Lurkers pushed forward, actually, because I got to say, I want to give an ode to these siege tanks. So this 2-kill rookie here, they're all making fun of him because he hasn't seen shit. He's super green. 30 kills, 6 kills, 32 kills, 41 kills. That's Chadhammer, and 5 kills. That is just a disgusting amount of efficiency on those tanks. And if you never have enough to actually get on top and clear the tanks, the Terran just gets out of control efficiency-wise. So it's either crashing overwhelming numbers, preferably with a full surround on them, which, remember, Solar messed up in that first fight earlier, or wait for your Lurkers and do it that way. So I just want to do a very quick post-game, guys, and say, remember when Solar attacked 60% of his army here against the Terran that was here? He was attacking around an edge. Never, all the units got stuck behind each other here. That was where he basically gave up a bit too much control, and he should have started morphing Lurkers even before his Seismic Spines, his range upgrade, was finished. GG, well played. Alright, got caught out by this sneaky 8-Racks Marine tank rally. This is Kaiser Gaming Solar. As opponent in the top right, it is Cure. Now, I think if we think about it a little bit, guys, that last game, that 8-Racks build with the tanks is actually so good against the Hydra style, because Hydra Baneling is so shit. If they have enough Marine tank to just stop the Banelings connecting, basically, like, they just none of your shit actually connects. Technically, against Marine tank, The Hydras do almost nothing, right? You really just want to have overwhelming Ling Bane numbers to the point where you can completely surround and just gun them down. Banelings get on top of the Marines, Lings on top of the tanks. The problem is these pushes hit at such a point in the game, the Zerg just doesn't have enough units, and it always ends up, all the Lings are gone, and then you've got like just a big line of Hydra Bane, and nothing gets more than a few hits off before it dies. Like anytime the Banelings get close to the tanks, the Marines are just like in a ball gunning them down. The tanks are blasting everything. And it really scales so badly for the Zerg player. And that's why I think either focusing more on the Ling Bane and only getting a handful of Hydras, or just rushing straight to the Lurkers in that scenario, getting out a Viper or two to abduct those tanks could be massive. Big thank you, Dark Knight, gifted a tier 1 sub to, Hedgie, sorry, gifted a sub to Dark Knight. Thank you, Hedgie, appreciate that. So Cure, a very smart player, says, hey, I'm up a game. You're very unlikely to cheese me with a 12 pool, like a Ravager Rush or something like that anyway, especially on such a big map. Why would I need to scout? I'm going for a Reaper. That'll scout for me a little bit. It can hang around in case it is pool first. But I like this greedy change up here from QO. Skipping the scout, playing nice and greedy. Reaper coming forward. And this is a nice clash opening from Solar. Looks like he's going to go for the 28 Overlord into 28 Third Hatchery, but he built 6 Zerglings. So Solar, once again, showing inferior Korean Zerg versus Terran. I've been talking about this for the last year, or not the last year, the last 3 months. Basically, all the Koreans at Katowice and around then have been building 6 Zerglings against a standard Reaper opening, even on the biggest maps in the pool. And this is blatantly inefficient. Look at how many hit points he has left on these Zerglings. Now, people have argued that if you have 6 Zerglings, you have enough hit points, you can always pull back the weak ones, and that way the Reaper doesn't get any kills. However, my point would be the fact that 2 of those Zerglings didn't get touched at all. This is a big map. If you want to do this, the only argument for it is on a tiny map. Maybe Berlingrad, maybe Curious Minds. Any other map, it just does not make sense. And even with 6 Zerglings and 2 Queens coming to the front, he gets his tumor sniped. Like I said, guys, inferior Korean ZVT. Now, Solar is an absolute god at ZVT, and I love him, and I'm kind of joking and joshing with this. You guys know I love my Korean players. But yeah, it's weird because Solar normally is more efficient than Rogue and Dark in terms of just his solid opening basics, I find. I really like his early game. So to me, it's surprising that on a map as big as Glittering Ashes, he'd build 6 Zerglings, because 2 of those Zerglings, that could be a drone. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, I'm splitting hairs, but to me, this is really basic fundamental knowledge. I could be playing against Maru guys. I still, off this same opening Solar's doing, would only build 4 Zerglings at the start. And yeah, I'd probably lose 2 of them because I'm a peasant. But I'd still be up a drone compared to where Solar is. And I just got to... This is not me saying I'm anywhere near this level. I'm saying even I could get away with building 4 Zerglings without losing any drones. So I think it's a really bad choice. The Korean players should probably be revisiting that. Because I think if you look at the details of how Raynor opens... On a big map like this, I feel like heck. I haven't seen him do it recently, but I definitely feel like there might even be room to go 2 Zerglings on one of these bigger maps, maybe. It kind of depends. Obviously, one thing to factor in is checking with your Overlord to see if you see the Reaper leave. Nice Viking snipe, by the way, with the Marines does kill it. If you don't see a Reaper leave, you shouldn't build many Zerglings. And the best Zergs, they build only 2 Lings, and if they don't see the Reaper, they think, ooh, because those Marine first openings are much more common, or Reactor first, they just stop on 2 Zerglings, go straight back to droning. But I saw Dark in one game versus a Marine opening just go 6 Zerglings, blind. And I was like, dude, this is so bad. It's actually incredible. Like, of course, that's Dark. I expect Dark to play that inefficiently. I don't expect it out of Solar. I hold him to a higher standard because he is a macro beast. Queen there. Do some good damage, but don't want to lose it, mate. Gotta be careful. Notice that Solar's still using just 1 Queen control group for his defense here. He splits them now, but he doesn't actually split the control groups. See, he's got 3 Queens on a different control group, but that's, I think, his injecting control group. So his Queens are a little bit muddled right now. Yeah, he's got one of his injecting Queens on his army group. So Solar with some overlapping control groups. It's a little messy, but... Oh, no, Cure, that's a lot of Hellions. Oh my god, and the Liberator as well. Oh, look at that, the Viking distracts up there. The Hellions dive in. Now the Zerglings do respond quickly, but that Liberator's doing good damage. The Viking gets the Overlord and gets out of there. Hellions gonna drive into the Liberator zone for a little bit of safety here. A lot of the Zerglings died, and the Liberator's gonna pull out, as will the Hellions. This was a very good trade. As long as he keeps a few Hellions and a Lib alive, he can keep this going. Has 3 barracks behind it. I'm loving the play from Kua so far. Tying up the workers with a Zerg always feels good, especially when it's 6 minutes and the Zerg doesn't even have a 4th base started yet. Solar, he knows how important it is for this 4th base to get up. He's going to start it just after the 6-minute mark, but that's quite late for a 4th base in this matchup. On the other hand, his upgrades are sick. Solar's 1-1 is so tight. That's very, very fast. That's faster than the Terran by a good, what is that, 30 second? Yeah, about a 35-second advantage on 1-1. He's going to add Overlord speed as Solar. Solar's got good creep spread, and it's a big map, remember. So even if Solar falls a little behind early, it's going to be hard for Cure to stack the pressure on top of that momentum to really push Solar out of the game. Solar has a bit more space to work with than Berlingrad, many more chances to kind of make comebacks and to work his way back into the game. And so far, I feel like there's a small lead for Cure. I don't think there's a massive lead or anything like that. He's making 9 Banelings, 9 Zerglings. Solar, get out of there. Ah, didn't realize he was trying to shoo the Hellions, but it's already 7 minutes. He should have known this drop would be here. Ow, 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 ow. Liberator's coming into the natural at the same time. As long as that doesn't siege in range of the Spore, that'll be pretty good for Cure. And Solar taking a nasty trade there, guys. He just lost a bunch of queens. So 3 queens have fallen in this game. Liberator does get a few hits from the Spore Crawler, but I like this quick reposition. Then again, do I? No, I don't. Pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. I think that's dead. Yeah, Q is not watching it right now. Liberator goes in and dies. He was, of course, microing these Marines to get them away from the Ling Bane. And let's check out the transition, guys. Armory, perfectly timed. You see that's going to finish in 20 seconds, just after 1-1 finishes. And he's got a second factory. Already signs of going for a longer game plan. He's got Widow Mines building, a 4th command center, a second factory. Q is going to be looking to harass Solar to death. He's going to try and do, death by 1,000 pinpricks. Widow Mines here, setting up traps and baits. And no doubt he'll probably grab his next medevacs and go down the right side of the map, so he's pushing both sides at once. Solar, though, his Hydroden only now on the way. It's a very late Hydroden comparatively. He's only on 5 gases, and he's going to go Infestation Pit on 5 gas. I think he might be just going straight for the Lurkers, potentially off pure Lingbane Queen this game. Ooh. Chat's asking me if I've asked the Koreans. Remind me after this game. I will literally message Solar right now on Discord and ask him why he does it. After this game, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, if you're lucky, Solar's awake and maybe responds to us before we even finish casting the series. So I'm going to ask him that. I've been bitching about this so much. And the thing is, guys, I know it's not going to be anything inspiring, but just to give you guys their perspective, maybe there's a nugget. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out. Okay, good pickup. Oof. Just trying to bait him into the Widow Mines, guys. Pushing both sides of the map at once makes it very hard for Solar. And so, as I was saying, the only reason for doing it with the 6 Zergers is just so that you don't lose any units to that Reaper. That's really the reason. But I just think on a big map, it doesn't make sense. I think there's just a lack of differentiation between small versus long maps. That's the real difference. And like I said, if they do it on Berlingrad, Curious Minds, I'm totally fine with it. Just on these big maps, I think it's super bad. Ooh, juicy Widow Mine taking out a clump of Banes, but oh no, Cure accidentally drops inside the Ling's Bane circle. Does get a bunch of those units taken down, and he's definitely starting to tax Solar and trade very well with him. He's also keeping the pressure on Solar. So Solar's actually down on workers as this 4th base goes up. And to me, this feels like Q has got this game not in the bag, but it's going in the direction he wants it to. Now, the argument that could be made here is, well, it takes a long time to get 3 tech labs up and then a Ghost Academy and then start making ghosts. He's not there yet. Hive is on the way. Lurkaden's on the way. He's not got the game-ending tech. He's got the I'm going to keep harassing you and be annoying tech. Lots more Marines and Widow Mines on that left side as well. But will he actually be able to push Solar down? Because I've seen Solar just pull into his tortoise shell, turtle up, tortoise up. We're going to call it tortoising this time. I don't know why. I'm going to imagine a tortoise has a stronger shell than a turtle. Solar's very good at turtling, surviving, getting his lurkers out, and then just winning the game. You've got to be really careful in this situation as Cure that you don't get wasteful with the units. You're looking to keep this beautiful 2-to-1 units loss tab that you've got so far. Doesn't have any Widow Mines at the front. That one's fired. The 3 at the back are there. Marines do bait the Lingbane into them. The Lingbane's going to go for it. And time to pick up, buddy. Tries to pull over to this last Widow Mine, but a good spready there. Baiting that. He pushes him back. Meanwhile, double drop comes in the main. Queens. Oh, he didn't finish the medevac off. Finally does. Good transfuses go down. 1 queen falls and 2 marines are going to go around. Now these guys deep in the red and orange. Just going to be a small distraction that could hit at some point. Not super impactful. He's going to do his best with them. 2 Vipers immediately coming out for Solar. Very good for dealing with the incoming tank transition. So notice that is a 3rd factory. And he swapped off the reactor, guys. Triple factory tank. Oh, Cure. The first time I saw him do this a year ago, I thought I was going to fall in love. I literally swooned in my casting chair. I was like, people out there be building ghosts, trying to micro snipe and cloak and all this fancy shit. Heck no. I look at that and I'm like, I can't do that. And then I saw a literal champion player in Cure just go triple factory tank. And I was like, This reinforces what I want to do. You know, I want the unit I can siege up, set, and forget. And the fact that he likes to do it, I love it. I absolutely love it, man. The bio shoving in the bottom side. He's once again just setting up the Widow Mines. This is so taxing. But Solar, he's not letting himself take any giant hits just yet. I mean, we really haven't seen a single devastating hit. First devastating mine hits. And it's because it left mostly Marines there, not Zerglings. Oh my god, that friendly fire was savage. These Hydras, if they could kill that drop, kill the drop. Distraction in the top side does keep that drop alive. Solar does not notice. And we see 5 workers fall. The Marines still trading very well. Units lost tab still looking really good for Cure so far. As these Zerglings clean this one up. Adrenal Glands plus 3 Carapace on the way, as well as the Lurker upgrade. Spines is done. Seismic Spines, that's the Lurker range. He's got Adaptive Talons as well. Ghosts are coming out as well, so don't get me wrong. Cure is actually good enough that he's going to also be doing the Ghosts. Those 2 Marines from earlier drop in the main. And they achieve a 2-second distraction of Solar, and that's about it. 5th base, 6th base, 7th base, 8th base, all on the way, guys. He's going to go for the Iron Bank is Cure. He's right now got 3 orbitals. He's going to 5 orbitals and building 2 more command centers. 1 will probably float to, I would imagine, the middle for the 5th base, and then the other one might just be an orbital. Or he could try to take the middle and the right side at the same time. That's just a little bit dangerous because you do get spread out a little bit too much. Hydras are here. Got to pick up quick. Otherwise, those Hydras going to click it. And medevac going to go down along with those Marines. Vikings building right now. I like the Vikings. So Vikings are good just to trade with the Vipers. If they're wasting abducts on Vikings, that's much better for you as the Terran player than if they're abducting siege tanks. Now a little squad comes down here. The Marauders say, give me your best shot, dickhead. And they do take a whole lot of Banelings. Both Marauders survive, pick up, pull back to drop elsewhere. Those sort of trades are really good, guys. You got to remember, Baneling's efficient if they're hitting the center of a massive Marines, but not so much otherwise. Now Solar's made it to late game, and this is the point where despite a shaky game 1, I mean, I thought he was ahead in game 1, but then, you know, got overwhelmed by the all-in. A shaky start to game 2. He is now in the late game, and I feel very confident for him in the late game. What's funny is he's not making lurkers. And the reason is he's like, well, I know Q is going to be up on the late game attack, so he's going to play tanks and ghosts. Tanks and ghosts wreck lurkers. So what if I just stay on Massling Bane? And then I add some just a few Hydras, a few Vipers, and it's just Massling Bane. And you might be thinking, is that really legit? It absolutely is. Scarlett was telling us about this, and she was chatting about it with sort of on her stream where they were both watching the games from Katowice, the Zerg vs Terrans, and talking about it. And, you know, her and sort of were saying, hey, it's really scary when, for the Terran, if you just kind of get them to mass siege tank, mass ghost, they're in this like really awkward, meaty composition. They got like Vikings. And then you're just like, oh, by the way, I just have 100 Zerglings. And you just run in and kill like 12 siege tanks for 40 Zerglings. It's one of the most insanely efficient trades you can take. That being said, Solar YOLOing right now. I don't think that's going to be worth it. So Solar there funnels into what appears to be an alleyway of Zerg sadness up there and up this side as well. Doesn't get anything done. These tanks, of course, covering that ramp. Nidus Worm was unable to get up. Overseer is blocked for now. The Vikings should clean that up. Cure learning from his bigger brother Maru. Is he his bigger brother? I don't know. Maru did bigger brother him in that last chance grand finals, but I feel like Ryung and Maru are the real brothers right now, always sharing their builds and their secrets, always chatting to each other at GSL, picking each other for their groups and whatnot. Marines and Marauders coming on forwards, scanning the creep, trying to push back some of this map control, but Solar is hungry to trade, and he cannot find a way in. Oh my god, look at how deep this tank line is! Oh, okay, good blinding clouds, but just a few more lings on those tanks would be so good. Oh man, the Banelings do clear the planetary. A few more lings on these tanks would be massive, but they're not quite going down. Does take out some stuff, but honestly, it feels like an awkward trade for Solar. And a counter push on the left side will come in. Still at close to 2-to-1 units lost efficiency. Q is also died a nuke. Nuclear launch detected. Yes, that's right. There is a ghost on the left side. Solar spots it because he is a Chad gamer. And he has very sharp eyesight. Solar, known as one of the best late game players in the world, but also has a mixed history with nuclear launches. Obviously, many people will never forget when he had Maru pinned in the late game of Romanticide. Last year's Katowice, not the most recent one, the one before that. Had him beat. Broodlord Infestor marching forward. Maru distracted him with a counter drop. And Solar did not notice the nuclear launch detected. Warning. 14 Broodlords, 10 Corruptors, 6 Infestors in one nuke. And the game turned upside down. Maru immediately counter-pushed, won the game. Proxy raxed him in the next game. And that was effectively what stopped Solar from getting out of the group stage. It was one of the most heartbreaking, epic nukes of all time. And even a month or two after that, he was playing Beyond, and Beyond did the same thing to him in an online tournament. Here we go, big attack for Solar, big Ling flank from the right side. Oh man, a lot of Hydras and Banes. Not the most efficient versus the tanks, but the Blinding Clouds did help a lot. Most of the siege tanks got wiped there. Wow, Solar with the Vipers being the force multiplier of this just very mobile Hydraling Bane army. He's just shoving on in there. Now the Ghosts there with the snipe do push him back. You don't want to overextend with those Hydras. Units lost tab was 2-to-1 earlier. Now, only an 11,000 advantage. It's more like 3-to-2 at this point, which I know that sounds pretty bad and it's still not amazing for the Zerg, but it's more playable because you've got 100 drone economy. You've still got plenty of bases here on Glittering Ashes that you can take, and you're denying an expansion right now. The Terran, who's been expanding a lot slower, this is his 6th base, and it's interesting that he didn't take the middle one. He's really trying to expand down this right side. Definitely would make me want to shove the left side and break this area as Solar. Solar looks like he's like, no, I've got momentum. I will keep pushing the front. Q is already maxed, but he's not set up. He's not sieged. He's not sieged. Lurkers come in. He does a swap into Lurkers after clearing all those tanks. This is what he was waiting for. Solar says, oh, now I've got to catch you with not that many tanks. But dude, the tank rally out of 3 factories is pretty solid. Is there enough though? The Banelings not quite connecting with the bio on the right side. The top side cleans it up as well. The tanks do get taken out. He's gonna nuke the Lurkers. Cure. Creative solutions to annoying problems right now. He's lost all of his tanks. He doesn't have many ghosts, so he says, you know what? I'll just launch a nuke and that'll force them back. Cancels that nuke. You can always cancel it, guys, up until basically the moment it's 1 second from landing. And does end up hanging on for now, but Solar's not done. Solar's almost out of bank. He's got to break through. He's purposely being inefficient, but if he breaks through, the moment he's in, he's going to break it and smash, but Cure is hanging on for dear life. Can he hold a squad of bio under these medevacs on that right side? It's 1 Marine, 1 Marauder, 1 Ghost fighting for their life. Tanks and Ghosts coming in. Solar desperately trying to break this. He gets rid of the tanks. The tanks are now gone. He's got the Overseers and he barely cracks through. He was completely out of bank there. But he just barely breaks the defenses of Cure with the quicker Zerg Remaxes. Beautiful play there from Solar. Just barely gets through. Guys, all right, let's go straight into the next map because Solar is getting proxy raxed. Well, his opponent was being a little bit greedy in that last game. It's Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Cure. And he says, I was greedy last game. I was doing pretty good. But late game Zerg's Imber, man. He just like threw waves of Hydraling Bane Lurker into me endlessly. We're going to proxy rax, and he's doing it right next to Solar's. Now, this is the greediest proxy rax, guys. But Solar's checking out here because recently people have been proxying racks there or there much more frequently. Or down here for like Reapers, right? And so he's not checking there and he goes hatch first. Solar's dead. He's not dead. He'll have to do a rogue. I've seen rogue jimmy his way out of this situation a bunch of times where he just pulls every single drone and the Terran just overextends a bit with the Marines. You get a surround on them and you just kill the first 3 Marines and then you're okay. But I don't think Q is going to let that happen, man. This is such a dirty build. And Solar, oh, his Overlord's even off to the left. He's going to see this so late. Solar's like, hatch gas pool, doop-de-doop-de-doop, hatch gas pool. He has a well-timed spawning pool. Went down right on a minute 12, minute 13, but dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, his Overlord even moves to the left. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He just shuffled his Overlord to the left as the units walked in. There is literally no way you could be this unlucky. Solar's literally like, are you kidding me? Oh, he's the unluckiest Zerg in the world. The pattern continues. I've never seen that. He needs to pull the rest of the drones right now. You need to do a rogue. You cannot under-defend this. You've got to pull everything right now and surround the Marines. Because that bunker's going up. You're not going to stop it. But he didn't pull enough drones for the surround. The Marines beat this. Look at that. 5 Marines, easy win. I mean, obviously, it's so hard for Solar to do. I cannot. Only Solar would have done that. That shimmy on the Overlord, guys. Look at this. Look at this. He's look at his vision. He's got full vision. And then, check it out. It's almost like as these guys move, he's like, yep, I'm gonna just shimmy to the left. You're fucking kidding me. Even 2 or 3 seconds earlier warning there, and that's actually like a good 6 or 7 seconds, means the bunker's nowhere near complete. He would have had more time to realize what's happening, pull every single drone and go for broke. But dude, that is... Because the bunker's already almost finished. It's such a desperate position, and the barracks are so close. The rally is so close. This is a GG, well played, Cure. A dirty cheese, and just a great proxy location for what he knew about Solar's Overlord scouting pattern. These sort of wins are not just a random dice roll. Obviously, there's a gamble, but I 100% guarantee you guys he noticed a pattern in Solar's Overlords before choosing to do such an aggressive proxy barracks location. Well done, Cure. Good study of his opponent. The most unlucky player in the world. And he's getting proxy barracks again. Oh my god. Okay, this is Solar. Bottom left side for Kaiser. Dragon Phoenix Gaming trying to do the dirty on him, but no, he goes too close. This Overlord was going to out here. This is a super dirty proxy barracks location for Cure. And he's already going to pull out a drone. Wait, are you not going over there? Surely you are. There we go. 2 drones are already on the way. Dude, Cure committing to this is not a good idea. This SCV is going to go down instantly. He did hide the other barracks though, but the Overlord doesn't quite see it. Okay, so he's going to go Reaper now. Cancels the barracks, but that way he gets his second barracks up. So the first one becomes a distraction. Gas goes down as well. Big thank you, Jar Jar. Welcome to the Pigsty, Jar Jar. Love your work, mate. Really big fan. Best character in all of Star Wars. Don't at me, haters. Drones are building. So yeah, basically this just turns into a probably 2 Reaper opening. Probably builds 2 Reapers, floats the barracks home. And I think we go command center here and then depot, and then we build a factory further behind it. That's what I'd imagine. Barracks, of course, very late. So he finally gets that orbital. Man, it's still only a 19 supply orbital when it's meant to be 20, even though he had a barracks cancelled. And that just goes to show, because he was cutting SCVs to build a double proxy racks on 15. Oh, this is so bad, man. Now, Solar obviously doesn't realize that there's a proxy Reaper coming in, but he sees that SCV going home, so he actually should be able to draw that conclusion. And to be fair, I mean, as long as he just does some spore tricks, he'll be fine. Oh, that bunker could be annoying. He sends a drone down. He should have sent a second drone if he really wants to stop that SCV getting up, because otherwise, look at that. Drone goes one side, drone has to go so far around. I doubt he kills the SCV. Oh, the SCV's derping a little bit. No, gets in a pocket, nicely done. Reaper, why was the Reaper going in the wrong direction? Oh my god, this Reaper's so late, guys. Because already, remember, the barracks got delayed. So it was his second barracks that built this, and it ran in the wrong direction. Cure. Make sure you guys remind me to check out the start of this game at the end of it. He's going to just sell the bunker, see if he can get a drone. Nice spore trick. And once again, 6 Zergans. I'm telling you guys, man, Zergs are just cowards. They're cowards, bro. Oh, Cure. Big boy micro. That was very well done. Gets the drone. And he does go command center on the low ground. So he risks the command center on the low ground. Actually, it's not really a risk. That makes sense because he's got the Reaper for map control. Factory on the high ground, second gas. He's going to go into a very standard play, but keep in mind, guys, he doesn't have any Marine production. He's got 1 Marine he built, and then he's going to rally this home. And then he's just going to float it all the way back. So if you go for like a Roach Bush, a Ling Bane bust, he has nothing but the Hellions to defend this. And he's got to build the reactor before he can start building them. It's a disaster, mate. I'd be very tempted to just counter-roll in him after this sort of opening because they are so vulnerable. But Solar, happy to play the macro game. Third command center does go down in the main base. Q is kind of forced to just really sit back and be very defensive for the moment. Third hatchery, relatively well timed. Ling speeds up, so that Reaper will go down if it hangs around here. The Ling's already looking for it, but he can get to the ledge. Q jumping up there, the Queen says, "Oi! That's me base, mate!" Those 3 Lings gonna hang out there, but if it jumps down, the Lings will get it. Jumps up, Queen will get it. Nicely done. That shuts down Q's map vision. He has 1 Marine and his first 2 Hellions only now building. Yeah. He's going to go Fusion Core, so he's going to try and play Battlecruiser, maybe into Mech from there. Maybe feels like Mech as a late game natural army comp could get him back into this. Solar's up on 39 workers, building Overlords, drones, Zerglings. This Zergling runs in. Quick micro from Cure, so he doesn't see too much. What does an ideal Zerg army value graph look like? 45 degrees most of the time. Staggered, stepped. Are there images somewhere? Ideal Zerg army value graph? I don't think anyone really looks at that. That really depends on what's happening in the game and what your plan is. So not a bad question, Chris, but really there is no such thing as an ideal, this is when you should build army, because there's 1,000 different situations in StarCraft. So what you want to do is just define your build order and then play in a way that makes sense with that build order. So there's no, you should just build units here and then army here and then units here and then army here. Because it always depends on what's going on in the game. As a Zerg, you're meant to have map vision. You see when the Terran attack's coming, and you build units reactively, even on top of any pre-built-in habits with exactly when you do these things. Ooh, Viking comes in, snags a drone, is like, yeah, let's get out of here, bro. Actually, no, he didn't get a drone. He just damaged him. He already got that kill. Still, nice way to utilize that. Nody! Thank you so much for the love, mate. I'm going to replay that right after this game. Thank you so much for the love. The Nody, mate. Getting me all Nody. Double factory coming in. Yamato, second battle cruiser will probably queue up after the first. There's no point going Yamato if you're only building a single battle cruiser. We'll see what happens. Got the 4th base on the way. Lair coming on in. 1-1 upgrades pretty well timed. I mean, how many queens we got? 7 queens, 8th queen about to pop. That's more than enough to deal with the first BC, and the lair is not that crazy late. Here we go. Immediate response from Solar. I think basically, guys, he said, look, I haven't seen any air units yet other than a Viking. I've got this in my mind. This could be coming in. Obviously, it's about 30 seconds later than a normal one because of the proxy barracks early game, but still, that battlecruiser floating down the bottom. Oh, Hellions! Oh, wow. Notice he spreads the Zerglings because they're all clumping up. He doesn't want to lose them all. Oh, good angling by Cure. Oh, man. This is a lot of damage. Kills all the Zerglings and even kills the Queen. Those aliens could just drive away. Battlecruiser walks back into the main. Oh, no, Solar. Because remember, guys, Solar doesn't split his Queen control group. This is the exact same issue I had yesterday in one of my games. So if your Lings can't deal with the Hellions on their own with just one Queen, and your Queen group split up, then you end up having to pull the Queens to deal with the Hellions. And while you're doing that, the Battlecruiser can just come in and deny an entire base's mining. Oh, Solar is in so much trouble. He desperation A moves Lings across the map. There's plenty more Hellions there. They could easily deal with that. Battlecruiser grabs a drone, grabs 2 drones and just walks away. Ooh, okay, gets an SCV on the counterattack. But Hellions do chase it off. Battlecruiser just keeps poking in, poking out, poking in, poking out. Look at that. You notice he's going to focus fire. 1 drone, 2 drones, almost gets a 3rd. Dude, this Battlecruiser is getting the value, and its tack jump is ready. So he can tack jump home whenever he wants. He's going to Yamato a high energy Queen there. Second Battlecruiser's on the way. Mech, Blue Flame. All this stuff's really good, but remember, the Zerg has a lot more chance to come back after taking damage versus Mech than they do versus other stuff. That being said, if the Blue Flame Hellions keep getting in there before the Roaches come out, that could be huge. Blue Flame still 30 seconds away, but those Hellions definitely coming in. Hellbats in the wall are going to say, hey, dickhead, do you guys like flamethrowers? And they might be Elon Musk fans, but they're definitely not enjoying those flamethrowers. Hellions going to go in and ow, 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 ow. Okay, Living Bane does clean up most of their Hellions. I think with the help of the Queen, it should do okay. This Battlecruiser is still being a dickhead. Cure, very well done there. Hellbat's going to come down and defend this 3rd base. Those Zerglings not really killing many SCVs, but they are doing a good job of disrupting Cure, and that does slow down his follow-up. Look at that, Zerglings in the natural as well. I think the Battlecruiser went down. I'm not sure. Did it teleport? No, it teleported home, guys. Other Battlecruisers gone in, though. Just killed the Queen, going after the Overlords. Should be able to blast down one of these Queens, and then maybe pick off a few more drones on his way out. Got to get out of there, though. There are still 6 Queens up. 8 Corruptors are building. This Battlecruiser did not use up its tack jump, so it should be able to get out of there. And, of course, Battlecruisers are a unit you want to preserve because they give great value. So Hellions are coming in, a few Roaches building. Solar's still got 72 drones, so as much damage as he took and as much as he's thrown away his early momentum in this game, well, I wouldn't say thrown away, but, you know, he slipped up, he's letting it slide away. Get out, get out, get out! Oh, Cure! Corruptor's very scary, but he does teleport home. He's got 3 BCs up now. He's going to go across the map again. Really bad move, guys. This tack jump's still 20 seconds away. I think he's assuming it's ready, and he wants to go Yamato a few Corruptors, teleport home. 17 seconds. He's got to be careful. He should not go in for a few more seconds. Hellions rotating there. They're going to try and pick off some creep. 1-1 upgrades are done. 4th command center's on the way. Massive supply block on 133 supply. And guys, I told you guys, you do not want to do it. Thankfully, for Cure, they target the wrong BC, so he can get out. He can get out. As long as he teleports it right now. But he thinks he wasn't watching. He thought he tack jumped both. Oh, but he goes back and does save it. He notices. Okay, very lucky for Cure. Hasn't lost any of those BCs, and he's even got a 4th one on the way. So he's really leaning into the battle cruisers as he adds tanks. Only on 5 factories. He's just getting up the 2nd reactor and the 3rd tech lab. And the Hellions going to kill a few drones before they go down. But that Carapace upgrade doing wonders there. As you can see, the Carapace allowing them to survive the 2 hits. The Hellions, 2 times 21. You might think, hey, -1, that's 2 times 20. That's still enough to one-shot a drone. But you've got to remember, unless those Hellions shoot at exactly the same time, all Zerg units, the moment they take damage, they instantly regenerate a hit point. And then there's the standard delay between each hit point from then onwards. So whenever you calculate a Zerg's hit points for it getting killed, always remember, add 1 hit point. Just keep that in mind. If you're ever sitting there with your calculator, oh, +3, this kills in this many hits, always take into account there is an instant hit point of regen, like within a millisecond of that unit taking damage. Command center gonna go out to the left side. The Nodi, thank you for the 5 gifted subs there, mate. Massive thank you. Getting off the chain, dude. Oh. Okay, we've got 12 Corruptors. It's enough to smash 4 battle cruisers. All their tack jumps are ready. And this is the BC tax, guys. You basically Yamato 4 Corruptors, teleport home, but this is 14 Corruptors. So if you're not quick, you will get them sniped. Queue up instantly. Look at that. He doesn't even do it on the 4th one. The one that gets target. Oh, he misclicked it. He misclicked the teleport. Bailings! Oh, and Bailings find his worker line. Solar says, hey, dickhead, bet you can't micro your SCVs at home while you're microing your battle cruisers. And Cure got really fancy. He saw the battlecruiser that was getting targeted. He purposely didn't Yamato with that one, because then he thought it might die before the Yamato, and then the teleport got off consecutively. The Corruptors are going to chase as well. They get another battlecruiser. Those are the value units, man. Those are the units that give you efficiency over time. Oh, Solar! He's been drinking Mountain Dew all morning. He unzips his fly, and absolutely no shame, just starts pissing all over Cure's command center. Cure's battlecruisers get baited back out here trying to defend, but that means another battlecruiser is going to go down. It's a disaster, mate. The missile turret will help, but not enough. All 4 BCs, a command center, and 27 SCVs go down. And Solar there marks his territory in Game 4. Dudes, this series is getting fun. Solar was able to break the mech after some shaky play, dude. Skyzy Gaming Solar taking so much damage to the BC alien. And no way! Cure! Oh my god, Cure is trying to take Solar to Tilt Town, guys. Cure is going Proxy Barracks. He's going to do double 15 racks again. Now, where's this Overlord path to? He's not going to see it unless he changes it. But he might change that path to check down here, because sometimes people do put the barracks down here. Ooh, double barracks. That barracks is half a second late. Notice he's not building SCVs right now, guys. The drone goes straight there. Solar's drone says, hey, dickhead, what are you doing down here, buddy? This is my side of the map, mate. Oh, Solar. He's like, you cheeky bastard. If you've done it twice, yep, you're enough of a dickhead that you might try it a 3rd time in a row. Solar, he sent 1 Overlord to check the left, 1 was going out towards the middle, and the other one went to this position, checked for all the really close proxy barracks positions, and he said, you cheeky bastard, there is no way you are getting this barracks up. And he's not, guys. 1 SCV goes down. He's building a 2nd barracks at home. So screwed. I mean, yes, Solar loses some mining time, but guys, remember that Cure cut like 2 SCVs to get the barracks down this early. This is so bad for Cure. And Solar at this point is like, 2 drones can do it. I don't need the others here. Let's go back to mining. His pool is very late. It is about 15 seconds late, maybe 13 seconds. The barracks does get canceled there. Solar will probably go back and just confirm that at this point. Oh, he's looking for a barracks there. Is he? Interesting. There we go. He sees the barracks got cancelled and all good. Back to a normal build order for him. Meanwhile, Cure has a command center going down in the low ground before his barracks is even finished. Oof, talk about plan B, guys. Cure has had a bad start to this one, but he salvaged it so well last game. Shades of Maru in 2018, right? Maru's proxies often went awry in 2018, and yet he always won the games. And that last game, Cure was winning that game. But then he messed up with his battlecruiser, and then he, while distracted, fumbling with his battlecruiser mistake, he panicked, didn't pull his SCVs back. All he needed to do was lift his command center, run his SCVs back to his other tanks and cyclones. He had a 4th base, and then he could have just re-landed his 3rd, put his workers back to mining, finish maxing out, get your 2-2. Cure was going to force late game, and no offense to Solar, but Solar is not the best late... I don't know. I always say he's the late game god, and yet I think he's bad versus mech. Okay, so I'm kind of reasoning this out in my head. I'm about to make a statement, and I'm immediately questioning myself, because I'm like, but he's so good with like Broodlord, Infestor, and Lurker. So I guess my reasoning here is I've seen him just die to big 3-4 base mech pushes a lot, where he just doesn't make it to late game early enough, and it feels like he falls behind, right? But on the other hand, if he does get up the really high tier stuff, I think he can dismantle it, because he is so good with like Broodlord, Infestor, and knows how to use Neural really well and all that sort of stuff. And on the other hand, he got beaten by Spirit, a player he is massively favored over. But he got beaten by him in the Katowice group stage. And that was a Spirit. He didn't play mech, but he just played up to Super Turtle late game. Lots of mass ghosts, libs, all that sort of stuff. That's kind of how Spirit plays now. This is, I think, the 3rd or 4th creep tumor Reaper's sniped in this series. Solar has been a little sloppy about protecting those. Starport goes up to... Oh, it's a Hellion drop. Ah, but it's very obvious, because Solar sacrifices an Overlord and is like, bro, where is your Starport? So he should be completely prepared. If I were him, I'd send an Overlord out here, an Overlord down here to be safe. The Reaper just got another tumor. That's the 2nd creep tumor. That Reaper says, see ya, don't want to be ya. Shoving up the middle finger over his shoulder. Zergling scouts the Starport. Very well done. Solar's going to drop a Roach War in this game. He's like, all right, you cheeky bugger. Only 32 drones for Solar. He's building a lot of Zerglings. But, I mean, a proxied Starport is a big commitment. And remember, no 3rd command center in sight. Fusion Core will go down behind that. He's going to try and secure this position and go forward battlecruiser. Dude, Cure, you gimmick lord. The Overlord's going to see that, though. That's really bad for Cure. He's going to try and drop in here. Zerglings should easily deal with this. The Reaper distracted them, though. Oh, okay, good pull on the drones. Oh, but he baits the Zerglings into a choke point. Solar's Zerglings have been getting baited. That medevac's gone down, but oh man, should not be losing any drones here. Loses only 4. It could have been worse. Does shut down the drop, and most importantly, there's only a rally of Hellions to defend this. If he can kill that Starport, then that'll be huge. And he's building 7 Roaches right now. He's thinking of just going aggressive himself. He could use the Roaches to kill the Starport. That would be Gigi. But he might just say, hey, I'm just going to kill you at home, and that also might be Gigi. 34 drones versus 34 SCVs. Economically, Cure is now in the lead. But remember, guys, at home, he can build Marines and Hellions. No Marauders, no tanks, no Banshees. He's very vulnerable right now. The Roaches and the Lings do come forward, but Hellions go after the Zerglings. Oh, but the Roaches are definitely going to go after this man. So look at this. He's going to use the Roaches to kind of zone out the Hellions, and that's going to allow the Zerglings to get a lot of surface area on this. That's, yeah, beautiful choice by Solar. He says, hey, dickhead, you can't build this. Cure's battlecruiser unable to be completed. Right now, Cure building 2 bunkers at home. He's worried about that Roachling bust. Hellions go for a dive, but look at that Queen on the ramp. If they don't have a Reaper, they cannot get past a Queen that's on hold position in the middle of the ramp. Great moves by Solar. Another 2 Aliens run in. Desperation. Bernie car harass. Does get another couple of drones. 10 workers in total. But dude, the Roaches are now going to come across the map. That being said, he's got a tank on the way. So he's going to have 2 bunkers with 1 Marine in them. Okay, he's got more Marines building 2 at a time. So we will, the bunkers plus the tank coming out, I think he should be able to hold. He's going up to 4 barracks, 3rd command center. No Starport right now. He's just rebuilding it up there in the main. Double engineering bay will start. Q is just forced to try to go towards a standard pyro macro game. And this, I mean, Solar's economy took a big hit. I don't think he can do much damage. Oh, he's going to kill all the depots at least. Even that's annoying. And I think Solar can just take a 4th base behind this and get way ahead. Tank will make it a little harder, but you can just shimmy to the left and get out of that range. Solar, careful, bro. Can still take down these triple bunker investment. Obviously delayed things like the command center going down. So even though Cua's worker count is good, feels like Solar's going to have complete map dominance for quite some time. No medevacs, no battlecruisers, nothing like that out. One of the cool things is he could add advanced ballistics and go liberators at some point in this game, later on using that fusion core, but otherwise a lot of wasted investment for Cure in this game. Proxy barracks gets caught, Proxy starport gets caught. Solar's been scouting and doing some fantastic reads. Still no fourth base for Solar. I feel like if he took a fourth, production-wise, he'd just be out of control at this point. But he's kind of following... Wait, what? Why is he making roach speed? For your 3 roaches? You're playing Ling Bane, though. Solar thinks he's playing against Mech. Solar's playing Ravager Baneling because he thinks he's playing versus Mech. Oh, okay. Solar is assuming this is Mech. He's about to find out it's bio, and he should cancel roach speed when he sees that. Going roach speed here is kind of nonsense. Melee carapace, way more important. Sees the barracks now. Let's go to Solar's vision. So you see he's looking at this guy's... Oh, no, that was Cua's vision. Let's go to Solar's vision. He's not going to cancel roach speed. He has 3 roaches, guys. Weird choice, but I'll allow it. Referee Pig here says that's technically not an illegal move. It's just an illogical move. And, you know, he's building more roaches as well. I guess roaches are not a bad unit for just tanking and defending the first push. They'll just have a very drastic fall-off rate compared to the Ling Bane. We'll see how we go. 1-1 is on the way. Overlord speed as well. Playing a 5-gas style. That 4th base already heavily saturated. The creep going out everywhere. I mean, as much as I criticize that one thing I don't understand, Solar's dominating this map. He's got so much creep spread. He's looking fantastic. Kua needs a 4th command center because he needs to actually play a very slow style to draw his way back into this game. Seeing so much Ravager and Roach should make him confident to just turtle at home, just do a few little drippy droppies here and there, and just make sure you don't get busted. He's already got the depots to try and stall the advance, just kind of like little obstacles, you know, these like little tank traps blocking a potential charge of Ravager Ling Bane. But I would love to see that 4th command center, and there we go, guys. 4th CC, 2-2 upgrades, and a 2nd factory with a tech lab would be all the pieces that'll allow Kua to get to the late game. As much as the supply advantage is there, remember, guys, 6 Ravagers is 18 supply. 9 Roaches, another 18 supply. So this 36 supply lead of Kua, or 30 supply lead, well, 36 of that is trash supply. That's maybe only worth about 20 supply in terms of late game value. So I would argue that actually this is totally okay for Kua in terms of composition, economy comparison, not too bad. The problem is, of course, the map control. The creep spread is getting so much vision. The fact that Solar has no pressure on him means he's going to be very calm and poised. Still no 2nd factory down for Kua. He's struggling on the cash front, trying to keep up his production just so he doesn't get busted. And he has gone double tech lab. Try and counteract the Roach style. Means he's going to be a bit more marine heavy. And that means the Ling Bane's harder to fight. So in a way, by going the Roach Ravager, you've prompted the Terran to be a bit less marine heavy. And I think that does weaken him up against the heavy Zergling comp. Ooh, Marines coming on down here. We've got Zerglings over there as well. Banelings morphing, Ravagers, and Lings as well. 89 drones for the Zerg. Hive almost finished. 2-2. About a minute behind the Terran 2-2. Terran's going to get a 4th as well. So this is a map where you do get awfully spread out when you go to take that 4th, though. Oh, watch out, Marines! Oh, no! Oh, luckily for Kua, Solar actually turned around. They were both not watching that fight. That was meant to be a Baneling run by for Solar. So he was like, oh shit, what's happening? Click it back without looking. And Kua also did the same thing, but only after a few Marines and Banelings do go down. Bit of a tradie. Kua's almost maxed out. Ultras! Yes! Space Cows, guys. Solar's going to play Space Cows. I think Space Cows is one of the most underused compositions. It's one of the things players are like, oh yeah, if you want to lose the game, you mean Throtralisks, which doesn't even roll off the tongue. It's literally the dumbest Throtralisk? It doesn't make sense. It literally doesn't make sense. Don't call them if you want to throw the game. Guys, maybe if you don't attack through a choke point with 12 Ultralisks, maybe they'll actually do their job. The whole point is you split them up and you attack multiple areas. Ugh, Jesus, you're not meant to run them single fire into a fucking choke point, dumbasses. Anyway, sorry guys, I've been watching far too many Maddox videos lately. Channeling that rant. Anyways, we've got drops on the right side right now, drops in the back of the base as well. The bio tank moving down the left side, tank sieging up, but they're exposed. But there's no Lings. It's all Bane Ravager. And the tanks shred the Bane Ravager. Oh, those last few Banes did clear out the Marines, but not before that Ravager goes cartwheel. It did a cartwheel. Spready to the gods there. Oh my god. That Ravager corpse was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. That was fantastic. If you're gonna go out in style. Spread eagle with your crotch just literally slapping the camera as you float to the top of the ocean. The drop at the bottom still distracting down there. It looked like that was a pretty good win for Cure. But, you know, it's going to go late game. The Ultras are really good for overwhelming from multiple sides. So the idea here is you've traded out that shitty Roach supply in a way that's good for you as the Zerg. You want to have a pack of Ultraling Bane attack this side and a pack of Ultraling Bane attack the left at the same time. He's going to go for a big dive as Solar. Good Blinding Cloud there. I don't know. Where's the numbers? It feels like the Zerg army's a little light. Then again, so is the Terran. Oh, the Ultras do come in now. And those Space Cows, they've got Anabolic Synthesis. No, they don't. They don't have any upgrades. Kindness Plating will kick in for them in about 10 seconds, but they kind of came in tail end of that fight, so not too bad. Marine drop in the main, though, starting to kill some drones here. Hewitt trying to pull the attention away. Oh, his bio does die out there as well. He's only just started the Ghost Academy, and that is a disaster for Cure, who was trying to play pure bio tank for an extended period in this game. He didn't feel like he could afford to get up to those ghosts. He's now on 8 barracks, but he's gonna try and just turtle up for a little bit. These drops, of course, buying a bit of time, but they eventually die, and Solar says, time to go, big boy. 31 more Banelings morphing. He's going to go up to 37 Banelings. He's going to try and crash into the right side and the left side at the same time. And, oof, okay. We've got Command Centers on the left, Command Centers on the right. It's still a hard position to attack into, but there's not that many tanks. There is so much Zerg! Behold the swarm! These marauders up the front desperately trying to hold the line. That Blinding Cloud could be massive. Gets it only on one tank before the Viper's out of energy, but the Banelings continue forth. Just so much Zerg! And that there is Solar's ode to the heart of the swarm intro video. He says, stomp. I'll stomp on you little boys that try to stand in my way. Beautiful play there by Solar, who finds all of Cure's cheeky proxies. He says, get me once, shame on me. Get me twice, shame on you. But 3 times, get out of here, you idiot! And it was actually 4 times, because of the proxy barracks and the proxy starport. Well played, Solar, well played. GG, mate. I bet he feels good about that.